Welcome back to Higher Presence. We have a great show going. Deanna Fraser's my guest. She's an executive coach and she's an expert at transitions. She's done it a number of times in her life, and she's a master at teaching you how to go from wherever you are to where you want to be in the least amount of steps. Now, as an executive coach, Deanna, what are some of the benefits of even using and connecting with someone like you?
Well, I think there are many benefits, of course, but two of them that comes to mind immediately when you ask that question is that we help clients get in touch with their own passion and their own true gifts. So it ties into really what they want, not what they think they have to have. That's the
So
one
it's
thing.
passion and true gifts.
Yes, yeah. As you know, again, as I said earlier, it's about that personal foundation, really figuring out who you are and what it is that you really want. And usually that passion will be there. If you give yourself the opportunity to ferret it out, I do little things by having them unclutter their house and their lives, and you'd be surprised how all of a sudden the energy changes and they feel differently and they view their life and their world differently. So that's one of the things. The second thing is to really be sure that you are ready for this journey, and that's self-care. That's what are you eating, how much are you sleeping, how are you exercising, mental, physical, emotional togetherness. We got to get buffed. We're going on a journey here, and it's not just about getting a job. It's about getting rid of the stress and finding the right job, making it a happy journey. So you have to feel good about everything that you're doing, because there will be some rejection, and sometimes that doesn't feel so good. But if you're ready for whatever's next, you can handle almost anything that comes down the pike.
That's good. Well, I know that as an entrepreneur myself, and you being a serial entrepreneur too, you understand that for a lot of us, when we wake up in the morning, we're unemployed. you know, so today it's how can you create something out of the ether that's around you, and I know that's a little bit about what you're talking about. Is looking at your core, planning something out, and then attacking that from a position of strength, not weakness.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, one of the things I'll tell you, when you just made me think of it, I wrote a book several years ago it didn't look like it had anything to do with the kind of work that I was doing in my traditional business. It was geared towards re-entering the single world after being married. And so most people would say, what were you thinking? But I was very passionate about it. I was very excited about it because I knew there was a tremendous need. I had experienced it myself. And people were always asking me, how did you do that? How did you make fun out of dating when you're, I won't say how old, but when you're older and more mature? And I said, well, because you can. So I wrote a book. And out of that came all of this publicity and some wonderful activities, and I had a great time. Never would have happened if I didn't tap into that feeling that I could do this. This is part of my life. This is part of my message. So again, it's take a look at what you have to give to the world and go give it.
And then what happened though? I mean, there's so many ways that you've used even those talents and gifts and skills in every other area of your coaching, I would imagine.
Absolutely, because the book isn't about how to find a date. It's how to be one, how to be a good date. And so it all goes back to, by the way, lunches, interviews, are interviews. That's all it is. Dating is interviewing. And it's just a date. So if you get rejected at a job, you want a job, then you get rejected, or you have a date and it doesn't work, just keep going on. It's no big deal. It's just another day and time. So it's all the same philosophy. Yes, absolutely.
Never thought much about dating employers. I thought that's illegal in some states, isn't it?
It's not what you want to do. It's just that it's the same concept. It's all about transitioning and not taking it so seriously. Now again, if there's a real money issue, then things have to be looked at a little differently. And I don't want to discount the fact that many clients have tremendous needs right now. And if we have to do that, that's what we do. But at the same time, I always encourage them to build that foundation that can lead to other things later on.
If you're in the situation where you really have to have money, what are 3 steps that somebody can take while they're to find, in a sense, to find employment fast?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things, Pat, is that we have them take a look at what is the most likely place that you'll be hired based on exactly what you did. It may not be what you want to have right now, But if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. You have to do whatever it takes to get that piece has to be taken care of. It's hard to be creative and be happy and do all this wonderful thing that I described if you're hurting for money. So that has to be taken care of. So even if it's just temporary, or if it's just several temporary positions where you can take care of business at home financially and then continue to go on your quest of finding the right position. So that's really the most important. That's probably the only thing that's important, is get something now to take the pressure off.
Well, and I know that for a lot of people that means stepping down a bit, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yeah. But
And-
if it's temporary and if it's just a mindset that it's income producing, it isn't like, it doesn't reflect on who I am as a person. It's just what I have to do right now. So it's all about attitude.
You know, that is critical, because when you think about, you know, if you're in that situation, you can't take even that personal. And for guys, I'll just tell you, for guys, that's hard.
I know.
You know, because if your identity is wrapped up in what you do, well, now you got to create a new identity.
Right.
So this is Higher Presence. We've got a couple more sections in the show. You don't want to miss it. Deanna Frazier, DeannaFrazier.com, executive coach, helping you in the transition. We'll be right back.
Yvonne is a sweetheart. She's an awesome person, an awesome inspiration to us all.
Yvonne does not just talk the talk, she walks the walk about what's important in life and what she thinks changes for people.
Yvonne is so positive that she makes me want to be a better me.